Recently, I beat my new hardest Five Nights at Freddy's max mode. In today's video, I'm going to explain how I did it. Max modes are typically the hardest difficulty in Five Nights at Freddy's games and fan games. People in the FNAF community have made a list ranking a lot of different max modes in the hundreds of FNAF fan games and the main games. There are technically two lists, being the main list and the unlimited list, but when I talk about how different max modes are ranked, I'll be using their placements on the main list for this video. The main list places max modes based on how hard they are skill-wise, not factoring in RNG like the unlimited list does. There are a few other differences between the lists, but I won't get into that in this video. Now, how hard do you think 50-20, the hardest max mode in the main FNAF games, is? 10, 25, 50? How about 102? The max mode that I beat is called Blood 720. Blood 720 is the hardest mode and a mod for popular FNAF fan game Five Nights at Candy's called Five Nights at Candy's But Better. Before I explain how Five Nights at Candy's But Better works, I'm going to assume that you already know how Five Nights at Candy's works. If not, then I explained it and it's two different max modes, 720 and Night Null, in this video here. In Five Nights at Candy's, one of the main criticisms is that pretty much all 7 animatronics act the same, besides Blank, who kinda acts like Foxy in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Five Nights at Candy's But Better reworks every animatronic by giving them all unique mechanics and changing how some aspects of the game work, such as how doors work. In the original Five Nights at Freddy's, doors drain power at a constant rate. In Five Nights at Candy's, they drain power exponentially. Five Nights at Candy's But Better returns the door's power drain to how it was in FNAF 1. Some smaller differences include night vision automatically being turned off when you flip up the camera, not needing to click the camera icon every time to flip the camera up, being able to switch between the old version of Five Nights at Candy's graphics and the remastered version's graphics, and the entire game being only a custom night with no progression like how most FNAF games and fan games work. When selecting what animatronics you want to face, if you click on the animatronics icon, it will turn red, activating Blood Mode. Blood Mode adds on an additional mechanic to every animatronic when active, which I'll get into when I explain how each animatronic works. Obviously, these differences make Five Nights at Candy's But Better much harder. How much harder? Well, Five Nights at Candy's Remastered's max mode 720 is ranked 583 on the max modes list. Normal 720 and Five Nights at Candy's But Better is 185, so a bit easier than Very Hard Golden Freddy and Sister Locations Custom Night, my hardest max mode before Blood 720. Yes! Blood 720 is ranked 45. Remember, 50-20 is 102, so this would be my hardest max mode by a long shot. Before I show highlights from the streams during my journey to beat Blood 720, let me do my best to explain what is even going on in this night. While the main strategy that I'll explain is for Blood 720, I'll also explain what each animatronic does without their blood modes, so you can use that information for trying normal 720 if you want. Something that I'm gonna go ahead and mention is when I talk about every animatronic's AI, I will be talking about how they function at 20 AI, because why would you play on anything less than that? Before I talk about each animatronic, something that'll be a huge help for this max mode is the use of a timer. You can use any form of timer you'd like, but I highly suggest either Live Split or a program called FNAF Timer, developed by Max Mode legend and developer Shooter25. Both of these will be linked in the document in the description, along with many other helpful resources. Timers are important for this max mode because of how each animatronic moves, and I'll explain how a timer helps with every animatronic when I get to each one. For now, just make sure your timer start keybind is R, so every time you restart the night, you have an exact time, which is very important. Specifically with Live Split, make sure you have global hotkeys enabled. For our first animatronic, I'll start with Candy. Candy is very simple. He will start at the stage in Cam 1 and move to either of your doors at Cam 6 or Cam 4. His blood mechanic makes it so he can also attack at the front window in Cam 5, adding an extra threat. I'm going to real quickly explain a mechanic called blocking. For some animatronics, when they are trying to move to a room that is occupied by another animatronic, they will just go back to their starting position instead of waiting for the other animatronic to leave or occupy the same room as the other animatronic. These animatronics are Candy and Rat, who we will get to later. The animatronics who wait until the room is free are Old Candy and Cindy. An example of blocking is if, let's say, Candy is trying to move from Cam 2 to Cam 3, but Cindy is already in Cam 3. Candy will just go back to his starting point at Cam 1 at his next movement opportunity. Now, what are Candy's movement opportunities? Basically, this equation says that every 100 divided by his AI level times 1000 milliseconds is how often he moves. Since we are talking about him on 20 AI, this equation turns into 5 seconds for every move movement. If you know how movement opportunities work in the original FNAF games, you know that those animatronics typically have chances to move every few seconds or so, rather than being guaranteed like in Five Nights at Candy's but better. This adds up and makes everything much more skill reliant rather than luck based, which is what Five Nights at Candy's but better aims for. When Candy gets to either door or your window, this equation runs to determine if he kills you or not. If you plug 20 AI into that equation, then you'll find out that he will kill you after 6 seconds or more at your door. Once his timer hits 6 seconds, your door jams and he will jump scare you momentarily. When he is at your window and his timer hits 6 seconds, then the window will get smashed and you'll get jump scared soon after. A minor detail is that if you block Candy at say the left door, the next time he attacks, it will always be at either the window or the right door. Candy can never attack at the same place twice in a row. So how does a timer help with Candy? Well, because he will always move at 5-second intervals, you can kind of keep track of where he is without actually looking for him. This also helps with green running, a way of playing where you try and use as little power as possible. You can keep track of his kill timer when he's at the door to save as much power as possible. Candy might sound very complex, but overall he's very easy to deal with as long as you can keep track of where he is. Up next, we have Cindy. Cindy is definitely one of, if not the easiest animatronic that we have to deal with. She will start with Candy in Cam 1 and move in a straight path through Cams 12, 2, 3, and 4. To deal with her, you have to watch her in a camera that isn't her starting position for 1 second. She will wait a random amount of time before leaving her stage with this equation. This is one of the very few things in Five Nights at Candy's but better that doesn't follow a set interval, but even then, it's a pretty lenient equation. Basically, she will pick a random number from 12 to 15. She will then multiply that number by 40,000 milliseconds divided by her AI level, so for us, 20. This will turn out to be a random number from 24 seconds to 30 seconds. That is the amount of time it will take for her to leave the stage. Then she will use this equation to determine how long it takes for her to move from camera to camera. This equals 4 seconds, so it'll take Cindy 12 seconds to go from moving off the stage to being at your door. Once she reaches the door, she will use the same kill timer that Candy uses to determine if your door gets jammed. Normally, when Cindy reaches the door and you close it in under 6 seconds, she will stay there for 10 seconds, wasting a lot of power. But her blood mechanic makes it so she will permanently stay at the door, pretty much ending your run. So you have to find her before she reaches the right door, look at her for 1 second, and do that the entire night. While in theory this is incredibly easy, I had some trouble with Cindy simply because the chaos of the rest of the night would make me forget to look at her and she'd kill me. I'll mention how to deal with her the best way when I get to the full strategy portion of the video, but honestly the best way to deal with her is just getting muscle memory from playing this max mode for such a long period of time. Next, there's Chester. In my opinion, Chester is what makes this max mode as difficult as it is. While there are many difficult threats throughout the night, most of the threats are only difficult because of how we have to handle Chester. I'll get into why in the full strategy segment, but Chester is a pretty difficult threat himself. He starts in the small stage on Cam 9. Once he leaves the curtains, you have to watch him to prevent him from moving through Cams 8, 7, and right to your door at Cam 6. Normally when he gets to the door, he will use the same kill timer as Candy and Cindy to determine if he straight up kills you. If you close the door in under 6 seconds, he will stay there for the rest of the night. His blood mechanic makes it so when he reaches the door, you power out immediately. So how long does it take for him to reach the door? Well, it takes him 10 seconds to go from his curtain on the stage to standing in the secondary party room, no matter how much you look at him. Once he is out of the curtains, his timer will increase by 1 every 1,000th of a second if not looked at. If you look at him, then his timer is paused. When Chester's timer reaches 1 million divided by his AI level, he will move to the next room where his timer gets reset to 40,000 divided by his AI level. Basically, he will move to the next room if you don't look at him for 50 seconds the first time, and will move to the next one after 48 seconds until he reaches your door. Unlike most of the other animatronics, Chester won't get blocked like Candy and Rat, but won't wait for an opening like Old Candy and Cindy. He will often be in a camera with Old Candy, who we will get to later, or any other animatronic like Candy and Rat. Chester is definitely one of, if not the hardest animatronic we have to deal with in Blood 720, as you have to spend most of the night looking at him while also dealing with 6 other threats. Thankfully, our next character is by far the easiest of the 7 animatronics. Penguin is very simple. He starts in a room in the map that we aren't able to see, but follows a path from cam 12 to cams 2, then 3, and finally cam 4. He will follow this equation to determine how quickly he moves, so for us, he moves every 5 seconds. When he reaches the door, you have the typical 6-second window to close the door to prevent him from getting into your office. The more you close the door on him, the quicker he will move to get to the door the next time. If he does get into your office, then he will randomly close the door using this equation to determine how often he closes them, saying,
"Can I take your order?"
every single time. Trust me, you will get used to hearing this voice line since his blood mechanic makes him automatically start in your office no matter what. An important detail is that Penguin will never open a door. If you have every single door closed, then he will only say his voice line and do nothing else. Having him close the door can sometimes be helpful if we are in the cams looking at Chester or looking for Cindy, because he can close the door when the cams are up while we can't. This can sometimes make dealing with Candy or Rat, who we'll get to later, much easier. Having a timer is nice because we can easily keep track of whenever Penguin will close the door, making it much easier to save power. Overall, Penguin really isn't much of a threat and can even be helpful at times. Then there's Old Candy. Old Candy is another one of the big reasons why this challenge is as hard as it is. In theory, he is very simple. He will start in cam 10 and use this equation to determine his movement time from camera to camera. Next, he will move to cam 9, then 8, then 7, and finally to your left door in cam 6. When he makes it to the door, he will use the exact same kill timer every other animatronic uses. Like Cindy, if an animatronic is in the room he's trying to move to, he will wait until the room is empty rather than returning to his starting point like Candy and Rat. However, he will go in the room if only Chester occupies it. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, what makes Old Candy so difficult is that when you look at him, he has an aggression timer that goes up by 1 every 1,000th of a second. This aggression timer will add to the amount of time he stays at your door, decreasing by 1 every 1,000th of a second. Basically, the amount of time you look at him is the same amount of time he will stay at the door. He will also make a quiet humming noise at the door, which is how we typically tell if he's at the door since we don't want to look at him. Normally, the aggression timer gets reset after he leaves the door, but his blood mode makes it so that his aggression is permanent, which throughout a 6-minute night really adds up. The other thing that makes Old Candy so difficult is he follows pretty much the exact same path as Chester, who we have to spend most of the night looking at. This is obviously pretty problematic, but we do have ways to deal with this, which I'll explain later. Now we have Blank. Blank is actually very similar to how he is in the original Five Nights at Candy's. He slowly progresses through 3 stages before he leaves his starting area in cam 11 to in front of your window at cam 5. This equation determines how long it takes for him to progress through each stage. If we do the math, this equates to Blank progressing through all of his stages and attacking your door every 24 seconds. However, we can't close the door every 24-second interval for one specific reason. You have to actually look at him on cam 5 to be able to stop him. If you don't look at him, then he will either instantly smash your window or wait at the closed window until you open it and then smash it. Now is where the timer is super important. Every 24-second or so interval, you switch to cam 5 to make sure that we catch Blank on time. The reason we don't look every 24 seconds is because when we're looking at cam 5, he plays an animation that lasts about 1.5 seconds, so everything gets a little offset. Something else that makes it a little more offset is looking at him to raise his kill timer. Normally, Blank uses this equation to determine how much time you have to look at cam 5 to stop him after the 24 seconds it takes for him to progress through his stages on cam 11. His blood mechanic removes that kill timer altogether, so he will instantly smash your window after 24 seconds if you aren't looking at cam 5. Looking at cam 11, however, raises a reaction timer that increases by 1 every 1,000th of a second. For however long you look at Blank gives you that much time to look at cam 5 after every movement interval. Listed in front of you are all of Blank's movements. If you're using the timers like I highly recommended, then you can do as follows. If you have live split, then you kind of just have to remember them or have them listed out in front of you somehow. I'm not really sure how live split works, to be completely honest. If you're using FNAF timer, right click the timer, hover over intervals, then click custom intervals. Now input all of the intervals I showed you and save them to your computer. The timer should flash a color at you every time you get close to Blank's intervals to alert you to get ready to move to cam 5. I highly recommend just messing around with FNAF timer in general because it's an incredibly useful resource no matter what max mode you're doing. Overall, despite a lot of people saying that Blank Blank would be incredibly difficult, I didn't have too much of a problem with him. The only times I really struggled were when his attack interval and Candy's movement timer overlapped. This is a huge problem because if Candy is at the front window when Blank is moving to cam 5, you're pretty much dead. My biggest recommendation for this is to make sure that on all of Blank's movement intervals end in either 5 or 0, make sure to look at him for either a second or two so you have some time to deal with Candy before Blank smashes your window. I'd typically do this when old Candy would overlap Chester because you can't really do much else when that happens. Other than that, if you have a timer, then Blank ends up being pretty easy. Finally, for our last animatronic, we have Rat. Rat actually works pretty similar to Candy. He starts on a camera that we aren't able to see in this version of the game, being cam 13. If you beat Night Null in Five Nights at Candy's Remastered, then you can see cam 13, but in this game it doesn't exist. He will then move to cam 9 and then make a choice to either move to cam 8 or 2. If he is at cam 8, then he will move to cam 7, then cam 6. If he's at cam 2, then he'll move to cam 3, then cam 4. His blood mechanic makes it so that instead of attacking you from cams 6 and 4, he will attack you from the cameras before, being cams 7 and 3. Rat also uses the typical movement equation that most animatronics use, along with the same kill timer. Similar to Candy, he can get blocked by other animatronics and will return to cam 13 if he is blocked. Also like Candy, he will never attack the same door twice in a row, alternating each time. Using the timer, we can try and predict his movements, but this is more difficult than predicting Candy's movements because we only see Rat when we're looking at Chester on cams 9 and 8, and when he's in his kill positions on cams 7 and 3. Overall, Rat is a very simple character, but I ended up having a lot of trouble with him. I don't know if it was because it's really hard to see him on cam 7 or 3 or what, but I had a ton of deaths to him and it got really frustrating. This is probably just a me thing because I suck, but it's whatever. And now, at last, we are at the strategy portion. Honestly, the biggest thing for this is the timer. I know I've already talked about it a lot, but it is genuinely a lifesaver. For this guide, I'm going to try my best to explain how to do everything chronologically, but this night doesn't have a set cycle like Very Hard Golden Freddy and Sister Location Custom Night or Ultimate Custom Night to some extent. To start the night, we sit and do nothing for 10 seconds. Super interesting, I know. We do nothing because looking at Chester during this time period doesn't stall him at all. After 10 seconds, we open whatever door Penguin closes, except if it's the front window in case Candy is there. Every animatronic will bonk the door instantly, except old Candy and Blank, of course, so the second you hear a bonk, no matter what, instantly open whatever door you have closed. This can get confusing sometimes if you have a lot of doors closed, but because pretty much everyone bonks instantly, it doesn't add up too much. Another difference that I forgot to mention earlier is in Blood mode, animatronics' eyes don't glow on cameras or when they're at the doors. This really doesn't affect us too much, and I probably could have not mentioned it at all and you wouldn't have even noticed. If you don't hear a bonk at the front window after 2 seconds or so, open the window, then open the cameras and go straight to cam 9. Look at Chester until around 13 seconds in, and then cycle through cameras 3, 5, and 7 very fast. You go through these cams a lot, so I'm just going to use the term cycle every time you go through cams 3, 5, and 7. Like I said earlier, this night doesn't really have a cycle, but looking through these 3 cams and looking at Chester is very important. We look at these 3 cameras to look for Rat and Candy. If you see Rat, then close his door. If you see Candy, then we can use prediction to close his door when he gets there. The reason we try and predict his attacks rather than looking at cams 4 and 6 is simply just to save power and give us more time to look at Chester. First, if Candy's at the window, then close it before the next 5-second interval. If he's at cams 3 or 7, wait till the next 5-second interval, then close whatever door he has moved to. After that, look at Chester, and once you hit 15 seconds, do another cycle through cams 3, 5, and 7, and deal with Rat and Candy accordingly. Next, we sit in the office until 20 seconds since old Candy will be in the same cam as Chester, then open whatever door Penguin closes. Cycle, deal with Candy and Rat if you have to, and look at Chester until 23.5 seconds. Now we go to cam 5 to look at Blank. Once we see Blank on cam 5, flip the camera down and close the front window. After Blank bonks, cycle and deal with Candy and Rat if you need to. After that, look at Chester for a few seconds until you get to 31 seconds. Cycle, deal with Rat and Candy if needed, and close the left door when you hear Old Candy's humming noise. When that noise is gone, open the door, look through cams 12, 2, and 3 for Cindy, and look at her until she leaves. Cycle for Candy and Rat, and go back to Chester. And that's kind of how you do the night. I'm not going to explain every little detail because we'd be here all day, but basically you want to cycle every 3 to 4 seconds to keep track of Rat and Candy, deal with them accordingly, remember your blank intervals, look for Cindy every 25 to 35 seconds, try and not watch Old Candy too much, open doors as soon as Penguin closes them, and look at Chester as much as possible. It sounds super complex, and to be fair, it is, but the more you play it, the better your muscle memory gets. A few tips I have are to make sure that you look at blank for a second or two every time his normal intervals sync up with Candy's 5-second intervals. This makes it so you don't get screwed over by Candy moving to cam 5 when blank does, which pretty much ends your night. Another tip is if Old Candy stays at your door for a long time, that time waiting can be used to look for Cindy since she typically leaves the main stage around the same time Old Candy will be at the left door. One other very key thing in Blood 720 is forcing a blackout at the right time. In Five Nights at Candy's but better, blackouts are always the exact same time, lasting 25 seconds each time. It's very hard to do Blood 720 without powering out at all, but we want to actually force a blackout at around 5 minutes and 35 seconds so we don't have to actually play the game for the last 25 seconds. This is very easy to do. All you have to do is wait till your timer hits 3 minutes and 35 seconds and then close all of your doors and just wait for you to lose power. Editing the Boiler 6 here. I'm just going to explain something that I didn't do a good job talking about during the voiceover. First of all, you want to have your reset time key to R because that also conveniently restarts the night and you have an exact time. But I already explained that. Candy's going to move every 5 seconds. Right on 10. And then 15, he moves. 20, he's going to move. Bam. But he's going to get a little bit offset once he gets to the door because he takes some time to bonk. He bonks at 27 seconds, so now he's going to move off the stage at 32. And then he's going to move from cam 2 to either 9, 5, or 3 on 37. And then again on 42, moves to the door, shut the door. He bonks on 44, so now he's going to move off the stage at 49. It's just a rinse and repeat of that. So while every animatronic moves on 5-second intervals, they get offset because of the amount of time it takes for them to bonk the door. And because of this, that's why you want to cycle between cams 3, 5, and 7, like every 3 seconds or so you don't miss it when they get offset, rather than just doing it on every 5-second interval. So that's just a quick tip that I did a horrible job explaining during the voiceover, but I hope that it makes sense now. And that's pretty much it for Blood 720. I hope I explained it in a way that makes sense to anyone, regardless if you played a Five Nights at Freddy's game or fan game or whatever. If you have any further questions, please ask in the comments below and I'll do my best to help. Now enjoy the stream highlights of me trying to beat my new hardest max mode. Okay, this is gonna be rough. Alright, so this first stream, I really don't know how much I'm actually gonna be playing because I still need to like learn everything for this. Like, I know what to do, but I need to learn how to be good at, you know, doing everything. I didn't even see her. That was not a horrible first attempt. I have to do a better job of differentiating fucking Candy and Cindy. I don't know why. I have such a hard time with that. Bro, which one is Cindy? Cool.
Can I take your order?
Awesome. See, Penguin is chill, because sometimes he's helpful. Do that. You have to have the night vision on for blank then? What the fuck? I can like consistently get like a minute in. I have no clue how I'm doing on power because I'm just not focusing on that. It's probably really fucking bad. Over there. Ooh, hi.
Can I take?
Motherfucker, dude, this rat is insane. What's your favorite mascot horror franchise? I guess FNAF, but I do like Poppy Playtime. Poppy Playtime was one that kind of like grew on me over time. So like I knew what it was when like the first 2 chapters came out. I personally think chapter 3 sucks. I don't think it sucks. I think it's in the middle. I like chapter 2 more. I haven't actually like played any of them because I don't feel like buying them. I can like slowly feel myself getting better. Not like progress-wise. Like, progress-wise, I haven't done shit. But I feel like I'm understanding everything more. Security Breach just said that the game gets so much hate. I agree. Definitely my second favorite. My favorite being Help Wanted 2. I love Help Wanted 2 so much. But yeah, Security Breach is definitely overhated. Because, like, there's some people who like it for how fun it was to break. And I can, like, somewhat, I don't know, empathize with that. Oh wait, I shouldn't have reset. I think that was candy. Good job. I tried to play Security Breach on launch, but my PC back then was horrible, so it just like couldn't run the game. But I didn't play it a ton on launch because of that. Dude, rat is insane. You are probably the only person that has ever had that opinion, yeah. Honestly, it's kind of fun to do the Markiplier strat. Other than that, it's so boring just because of how long the nights are. Oh, blank, you bastard. Personally, out of all of the base FNAF games, the most fun max mode is Very Hard Golden Freddy and Sister Location. Personally, nothing beats that. Shit, I hate that combo. You can get comboed by Candy and Blank so hard. It sucks. Like, you can have Candy be at the door, you have to shut it for him, and then you gotta deal with Blank at the same time, and you're just screwed. That's like the one annoying bit of RNG this max mode has. Holy shit, I'm doing bad on Chester.
Can I take your order?
No! What? How did that... I thought I was... Alright, whatever. New PB! That's not bad, I'll take that. I need to do better on Chester and, like, everything. Dude, this thing keeps happening where fucking rat bonks this door, and then I'm not listening, so then Old Candy kills me. 18? It is 3 minutes in, my dude. New PB. Horrible in power. Holy crap, I do not know if I could have gotten worse at power than I was there.
Can I take your order?
Dude. Thanks, Penguin. I gotta get better about Rat. I didn't think I'd be struggling with him. He's so easy. He's just hard to see, but I know where to look for him. Oh my god, this is hard. Like, this max mode, it's very hard, but it's all skill, which is nice. I can appreciate that a lot. As someone who's been playing 50-20 a decent bit recently. What max modes are not all skill? 50-20, Aggressive Nightmare, FNAF 2 for the most part, anything in Pizza Sim. There's not many skill-based max modes, at least, like, that Scott's made. Scott's are all, like, RNG slogfests, which personally I hate. Like, there's some people who really like UCN, and I'm like, how? Alright, one thing I might do is just go into an empty custom night and just learn where the fuck Cindy and Candy are on the camera so I don't get them mixed up any more than I already do. Yeah, real quick, I'm gonna learn their positions. Because I keep getting them mixed up. I don't know why. It's really stupid. It's like, it's not hard. I don't know if this is a hot take, but the FNAF 4 is bad. It's getting there. Personally, as much as I love the newer FNAF games, I think it should have ended at UCN. Like, I love Help Wanted, I love Security Breach, love Help Wanted 2, love Ruin, but they should have ended it at UCN, which is unfortunate. It's just like all the new stuff doesn't make sense. And I'm sure, like, if it eventually does make sense, I'll like it more and appreciate it more, but it just doesn't make any sense right now. Oh yeah, no, I'm going back to the other graphics. It is, believe it or not, even harder to see Rat now. I thought I'd hate having this like 10-second grace period at the start of every night, but I kind of like it. It's a nice way to just like reset. What do you think of Sister Location? I think the base game is alright. I like how different it is from everything else, but Custom Night is my favorite. Out of like all the FNAF stuff, Custom Night's my favorite. It's like, I don't know. I think the base game is good, and then the Custom Night is peak. It's hard to compare the two because of how vastly different they are. Sister Location, everyone seems like very divided on. I feel like you either love it or hate it. No! Oh! Good day one. Good day one. 2-3 AMs. Overall, I want to try and beat this under like 10 hours, but we'll see how everything goes.
I'll take your order.
Wow, I ran out of power fast. I'm just gonna keep going so I can take the PB. I'll take a 4 a.m. My power was really bad, and I know exactly why. Alright, 4:05.
Can I take your order? Can I take your order?
Ah, crap. I got a new PB. That's what Chester does is the second he gets to your door, he just powers your game. Your game. He just powers your office out no matter how much power you have. Alright, 4:36. Good stuff.
That's good.
I will probably not be doing a lot of talking today. If you cannot tell, my voice is absolutely shot. I was at a hockey game 2 days ago. I was screaming during that, and I'm also getting kind of sick because it's like negative a billion degrees outside, so.
Can I take your order?
Shit, I'm battling everything right now. Battling power, Chester,
Can I
old
take
candy.
your order? Can I take your order?
New PB. Horrible on Chester and power. Literally everything. I'll take a PB though. 4:52. We take those. We take those. I was really bad on everything, and I know why. It was because I'm just sloppy and I panicked. I did a good job on Chester towards the end. It was just so
take
bad
your
at the start.
order?
It was such a bad start. Oh my god, this rat motherfucker is gonna make me tweak, man.
Can I take?
Alright, where the hell were you, dude? Come on, what is that? Alright, hold on. We are gonna go to this handy dandy presentation that I've been hawkeyeing for pretty much all of today. Alright, we're gonna go to rat. That is not right. There's no way that's right. This motherfucker kills you so much faster than everyone else. There's no way he has the same 6-second kill timer. Alright, yep, alright, so, let's pull out that handy dandy presentation again. There's gotta be something I'm missing, because I die to this guy way too often. Like, I don't know if I'm just having a hard time seeing him, or what, but, like, I can't, like, stop watching my head because of how his movement opportunities work. Yeah, I don't know if I'm just having, like, a hard time seeing him or what, but, like, I feel like he's killing me way faster than what he's supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be 5-second intervals, and when he's at one of these doors, I have 6 seconds to close it off. But I feel like I have no time. It's so weird, man. This was the moment that I figured out that animatronics can get desynced with their movements. I know I already explained desyncing earlier, but it's a very complex process and took me hours of playing to finally understand how everything worked. Up to this point, what I had been doing was cycling near every 5-second interval on the timer, because that's how I thought the animatronics moved, and that's why I would die so much to Rat specifically, because I'd see him right when his kill timer was about to go off, and that's why it felt so unfair. It was also due to this that I'd sometimes miss Candy's movements, which would cause me to die to him. Overall, this was a pretty decent turning point. All I had to adjust with my strategy was make sure that I cycled more frequently so I can catch Rat sooner and make sure that I don't miss Candy more. This took a bit of getting used to and made Chester even more difficult for me, but eventually I got the hang of it. It just took a very long time.
Can I take your order?
Nope, I'm just cooked. That's insane. That was awful. I'm so sorry. That
Yes! Drew, I finally got a 5 a.m. Blood 720 run.
Oh, nice.
New
Okay.
PP finally. Dude, I was
Go.
playing horribly earlier today because I haven't played this in like 4 days. I was so rusty. I'll take, what is this going to be, 505? Yeah, 505. There we go.
You have to.
Alright, welcome to stream number 4. Got my first 5 a.m. attempt last night when I was playing off stream. Came out of absolutely nowhere. I was just like playing it again because I hadn't for a while. And I was playing horribly because I was incredibly rusty and I somehow got a 505. I don't know how. Also, new strategy. hand warmer strategy. It's always like really cold in my room. You know, it's the middle of winter now, and I just naturally have really cold hands. So I found some hand warmers that I'm gonna have on standby for when my hands get really cold. Because if my hand gets cold while I play this, my movement's super slow and just makes everything a lot more difficult. So
Can I take your order?
what? What the fuck killed me? What? Blank? Are you kidding? Did I actually miss one of his intervals? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Dude, I've been playing this mode for 9 hours. How the hell do I forget to look at my timer? Oh my god. Oh, that's such a throw. I was not great on power, not great on Chester. That probably should have been a PB.
Can I take your order?
I didn't see you at all. Wow, that actually got me. See, the only reason the jump scares like kind of get me in this is because I'm like so laser focused on everything, and because everyone moves so fast, I can like miss them very easily. Love your keyboard. Yeah, okay, I have a very stupid story. So I first got this keyboard, I don't know, maybe like a month ago, specifically to like play GD, because my SEO devices kept breaking for some reason, and I was just like, I'm gonna invest in a good keyboard so I don't have to replace these things every like 2 months. So I got a new keyboard, I try and install the software, it doesn't work. I'm like, okay, it probably doesn't matter that much. And then my friend came over a few days ago, and we were messing around, and she was like, why don't you have your keyboard software set? I'm like, oh, because I don't think I need it. And then she was like, you realize to get like the 8K polling rate and rapid trigger function, you have to, you know, mess with the software. So pretty much I've just been handicapping myself for like a month. I finally got that set up. It was a pain in the ass. I had to download the software on my laptop and then install a firmware update on my laptop to my keyboard because it wouldn't install on this computer. I don't know why. But long story short, I got that working, and I messed around with the lighting, and I do really like this lighting.
Can I take your order?
What? I heard 3 mohawks. Alright, so what I think happened was Rat bonked on the left, Blank bonked on the front, then Candy moved to the front after Blank bonked, and he bonked, and I thought the bonk was old Candy. Do I like this game? I actually really do. The only reason why I'm getting frustrated is because there's like no RNG in this game. Every mistake is your own fault, and that just gets a little annoying after a while, but like everything in this is really fun. I've had a lot of fun like learning this and getting better.
Can I take your order?
What? How did you get past? No, maybe I can get a PB. I'm gonna tie my PB. That's insane. 505 again. It was technically a 504. It rounds up to a 505. I don't care.
Can I take your order? Can I take your order?
$520. Good run. 523. I'll take that. I'll take that. New PB already. I'll take that. It's gonna be what, 35? Yeah, 533. Nice. 10-second PB.
Can I take your order?
Oh, man. I think that'll be like a 535. 537. Getting closer, getting closer.
Can I take your order?
Oh man, that's gonna be like a 2-second PB. If that, actually, no, it's not. I still thought my PB was 533. Another 37. Alright.
have to look at it. I like restaurants. Restaurants. Yes, I meant restaurants. Get out of here.
Fuck, no. Oh, it's 15 seconds off. Alright, after that god-awful session, I finally got a PB. That sucks, man. 5:44. Mother... Oh my god.
Can I take your order? 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 take your order? Can I 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 take your order?
No, 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 please, please, please. Yes! Yes! Oh my god, I fucked up at the end so hard. Whew! That's it, right? That's it. Yes! Woo! Oh my fucking god! I choked so bad at the end there. Oh my god! Oh! Oh! Oh man, I'm gonna savor this one, baby. Yes! Oh, that feels good. Oh, stop that timer. 17 hours and 4 minutes of playtime. That took so much longer than I thought it was. I was like, this is gonna take 10 hours max. That was so difficult, man. Oh, let me pull out the notepad. These were all my deaths past 3 a.m. 55 that I remembered. Yeah, that was so difficult, man. I haven't done a max mode anywhere near as difficult as this, because like the hardest I've done before this was Very Hard Golden Freddy and Sister Location. This is like, this I can't even begin to describe how much more difficult this is. Like, for those who know like how hard Very Hard Golden Freddy and Sister Location is, but like don't know about, you know, FNAF fan games and how hard those max modes are, like, this is so difficult. Let me get the lights on so you can actually see me. When I fucked up that blank thing at the end, I was like, I'm gonna die at like 58, 59, something heartbreaking like that. As frustrated as I was getting, especially towards the end, this was really fun to do, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the only reason I got as frustrated as I did was because, like I said, I was expecting like 10 hours max. I was not expecting over 17, so I just got frustrated with how long this was taking me. But like, overall, this was really fun. Because you don't have to worry about RNG, this was so much fun. I really like this. This is, like, out of really like the 5 max modes I've done before this, being 420, 1020 in FNAF 2, Very Hard Golden Freddy's Sister Location, and then both the max modes in FNAF Remastered, this was a lot more fun than all of those. And like, I really enjoyed Very Hard Golden Freddy, but oh man, god, that was so difficult. Final thoughts, yeah, this was so difficult because unlike something, like, you'd think something like 5020 would be a lot harder than this because you have to deal with like 50 threats, and this you only have to deal with 7. Like in 5020, the difficulty is like this, and then it like shoots up when you add more characters towards the end. This is just like consistently, like, there's a few easy characters, like Cindy's pretty easy for the most part, so's Penguin. Adding everything in together was just so difficult. Like, all of these animatronics besides really Penguin are like big threats. But yeah, I'm really happy to get this done. I wasn't expecting to like grind this soon after I'd already done FNAF Remastered, but I had a lot of fun learning this too. Like, some max modes, especially 5020 for example, are like horrible to learn. I mean, I just hate 5020 in general, but that's a different topic for another day. But like, learning this and figuring out everything was a lot of fun. Because, full disclaimer, I've already edited the strategy portion of this video, and like, I had a lot of fun like researching how everyone worked and like figuring all that stuff out. And overall, that was a lot of fun because it helped me have a better understanding of how this worked in general. But yeah, overall, this was just a really fun experience. Despite getting frustrated towards the end, like the last 2 hours were pretty annoying, because once I really hit 15 hours, that's when I was like, all right, you know, even though this is like stupidly difficult, I should have done this by now. Because like for perspective, time-wise, my hardest maximum before this very hard Golden Freddy, the first time I beat it took like 4.5 hours total. Second time took like 6 hours, because that's a whole nother topic for another day. Yeah, this I knew it was gonna be very, very difficult. Not expecting it to be 17 hours, but I'm still really happy I got this done, and I had a lot of fun with it too. But overall, if I had to give this an enjoyment rating out of 100, I'd probably give it like 95, 96, just because the last few hours were very annoying. But yeah, learning this, very fun. Actually playing it, very fun. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. And if you like really learn how all these animatronic works, you don't really need much skill. Like, the only skill you need is to be able to like cycle through the cameras really fast and just be good at like knowing animatronics desynced intervals and movement prediction and all that. Like, I know this video is already really long, but there's so many different things that I haven't mentioned strategy wise, because this video would just be even longer. Very proud, because this is quite the jump from very hard Golden Freddy. As for what's next, I'm not sure. I want to try and work on the rest of the FNAC but better games, at least FNAC 2 but better. I'm not really sure about FNAC 3 but better. I've already done a little bit of learning on Rad & Cat Theater faulty equipment, which is one of the 2 max modes in FNAC 2 but better. I also want to do very hard Golden Freddy pre-patch, which it's definitely harder than Rad & Cat Theater faulty equipment. I got a lot of other ideas for max modes I want to do. I've got some games I gotta play through to like learn everything. Yeah, thank you everyone who stopped by during the streams. I know I wasn't streaming this towards the end. I just really needed to lock in and not get distracted. I hope you guys enjoyed the guide. I hope it can help you out, because like I said, you don't need a ton of raw skill to do this. You just need to be able to cycle through cameras quickly and have enough patience to get good at movement prediction and knowing desynced intervals and, you know, knowing timer strats to a degree. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions that I didn't cover in the guide, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my very best to answer them. Next up, probably Rad & Cat Theater, if I gotta be 100% honest. It's probably gonna be either that, maybe Ringing Nightmare faulty equipment. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe, turn on notifications so you're notified whenever I post new videos and whenever I go live. Thank you guys for your support, especially since I'm transitioning into doing content like this. I know it's a lot different than my old stuff, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it, so I appreciate the support. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.